What's up, everyone? Happy Friday. Gus Rico here with episode 35. Amazing. Thank God for allowing us to do this. To all our listeners out there, we got some more subscribers. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. That is awesome. And thank you guys for all the support you guys been giving us. It's been great. It's been a lot of fun. It's therapy for me. So an hour of therapy. Can't go wrong with that. So real quick, shout out to the wife and kids out there. Thank you guys so much. My dad, thank you for taking my kids to school. You don't get enough credit. The wife doesn't get enough credit. And my kids at school, get it done. Our players and coaches, thank you guys so much for everything you guys do. I might not say it on the field, but if you guys ever listen to our episodes, thank you guys for all your hard work out there, and doesn't go unnoticed. To our Brace parents, thank you guys so much for bringing your kids and making it happen for what they love. Our tournament directors, thank you guys as well for putting these tournaments together for all our kids out there from Southern California. For what we're going through right now with these wildfires, and we're expecting rain this weekend, which we need it. Can't wait. Hopefully it does rain and watch some Sunday football, playoff football. It'll be great. Punch, shout out to him over at Hot Corner Baseball. If you guys need anything, I know Little League starting, all the local Little Leagues or Pony Baseballs starting up, go see him. He is in North Hills, Mission Hills. Go see him, and he'll take care of you. Bagger Sports as well in Santa Clarita. Norma, Hector, and staff, they do an amazing job out there in Santa Clarita. So if you guys need anything, go visit them. And lastly, Eric Figueroa does our banners at Birmingham or Warning Track. He decks it all out for a lot of high schools. I see he's got El Camino, he's got Chatsworth, he's got a lot of high schools out there. He does an amazing job. So if you guys want, put your logo on there and Birmingham baseball, whatever it says, go see Eric Figueroa. I'm gonna put it on Instagram later. Amazing. He'll go to you and give you guys a quote. Some Braves updates. We got a running club going on. Might get canceled this Sunday due to rain, but we'll keep everyone posted on that. Yeah, we thought wrong. I know. Last two more things. Hopefully this weekend we get our tournaments in, but we only have a few teams playing. That's a positive. We don't have to send so many messages out. So once we know if it is a go, then we'll let you guys know. I know Coach Sam has a 7:30 game in the morning Saturday, so he's got to be up at 4 a.m. for that. And lastly, go subscribe on our YouTube channel. We have 159 subscribers. Thanks to our guest that Lira is about to introduce. Thanks to him, our subscribers this week actually went up. And I can't wait for this episode to start because all I heard all week when I posted it, legend, 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 legend. So with that being said, Andy Lira.
Yeah, welcome to episode 35. It's been a beautiful grind. It's been episode after episode. It's been great guests after great guests, and we appreciate everyone that's came on. I definitely got messages from my brother David Lira about how much of our guest is a legend, about beach workouts and these workouts, and holding guys accountable. And I think that's great to hear, and I'm excited to get the episode going and to hear the stories and get everything going here. So nonetheless, to introduce this legend here, Murphy Sua.
I'm on. Okay.
You're on. You're live.
Because first of all, it's an honor to be here. Thanks for having me here. This is really exciting, especially the opportunity we have a venue like this to be able to get information out to coaches and players and people in the industry. This is awesome. So I'm grateful to be here. That legend label, let's hold off on that. Okay, there's a lot of guys out there that are that, and I'm still learning and grinding from all of them. But when you said beach workout, my mind just had a flashback to the beach workouts. Those were absolutely amazing. And I think we were all, even the coaches were crawling up the stairs back to our cars after those beach workouts. It was just amazing, absolutely amazing. But grateful to be here. Thank you.
I want to thank Sam for making this happen.
Yeah.
Sam, behind the scenes, production here right now, behind the scenes, said, hey, I got Murphy Sua for the 24th. And I think a couple of days ago, I hit him with, wait a minute, don't we have a podcast guest this week? He's like, yeah, we have Murphy Sua. Put it on your calendar. I was like, shoot, because I was stressing for a couple of days. I was like, we don't have anyone. Let's get somebody in. I was almost ready to take a day off. But I'm glad I did it. No, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I didn't. So yeah,
Yeah, no. You know what? I want to get started with those beach workouts, but first, let's talk about your background. You know, how you grew up, or like what got you introduced to baseball, to coaching. Give us a rundown of all that.
Okay, I'll try to keep it short. I'll try to keep within an hour or so. But of course, I was born in the island of Samoa, right? So I got to represent. So I got my Polynesian shirt on.
seen
And of
that.
course, I'm with the Hit Factory. So Hit Factory, Los Angeles. Yeah, let's go, guys. Let's go, guys. Let's get it going. Yeah, baseball was not a sport that I grew up with. Well, I did here in America, but in Samoa, my dad played rugby and cricket. So those are different games. He didn't understand what baseball and softball and American football was. So it was really neat growing up. He would discourage us from playing certain sports, but boxing was our sport. Boxing, fighting, any kind of fighting, martial arts, entertaining. I was a fire dancer. I twirled the fire dance. If you've ever been to a luau, you see the guys twirling that fire around. Yeah, that was my job for a while. Then I danced, I sang, I played the drums, I played the trombone. When I was a youngster, I was with the Peter Merenblum orchestra in Hollywood for the youth, and that was fun. I marched with a marching band called the Royal Cavaliers. I went to Poly High School, was the drum major, and was the drum major for the L.A. City All-Star Band that marched the Rose Parade every year. So
nice.
Exciting stuff. So baseball didn't come in until later on. I played fast pitch softball for my church as a 12-year-old. So that's where I got my swing, and that's where I learned how to field ground balls, and I caught as well too. So if you never caught a rise ball, you got to watch your lips, right? That rise ball will take you out in a hurry. But really enjoyed that. I played 1 year of Little League as a 9-year-old, and I only played Little League because I went with my best friend, who was part of Mid-Pacoima. I lived in Pacoima. So Mid-Pacoima Little League, and I was on the outside shagging balls, right? They would throw the balls over, hit them over, I'd throw them back to the fence. So I made a couple of pretty good throws. And the coach says, hey, you play baseball? I said, no, I know nothing about baseball. And he goes, would you like to play? I said, sure. So I went on there and gave me a uniform. And there's a picture of our team picture. We were the Cubs, right? And our jerseys were purple. So they had the C for the Cubs, but I didn't have a C. They just went to the sporting goods, got a hat, put it on me, took a picture. And then, but that was it. That was my baseball. Then didn't play again. In high school, I went out for the freshman team, and I got a picture of my uniform. I think I got a few at bats during high school, maybe, but I pitched softball, and I pitched for two companies, Burbank Aircraft and another company out in Burbank, and I was 15 years old. Owner would come and pick me up because I couldn't drive, and he'd take me to the game. I'd pitch the game, take me to dinner, and then give me a check for pitching. So I thought, good, I'm a professional softball player, right? But baseball was boring. Man, was it boring. So I went to go play. The cousin of mine, Abel Porter, called me to come play with him in a Joe DiMaggio league, and we were at Poly High School. That's where I went to high school, Poly High School. So I'm playing out there like 95 plus during the summer. It was really, really warm, and there was six people in the stands and a grandpa. Right, there's a grandpa out there as well too. So there was, I think there was a set of parents and a couple of girlfriends, and then this grandfather. So I had a pretty good game. Right? In fast pitch softball, that ball comes at you pretty quick, and so I had a good game, and this grandfather comes up to me and says, hey, where do you play baseball at? I said, no, I don't play baseball. Boring, too slow. And he says, well, you got some pretty good tools, and we talked about it, and he hands me his card, and he says, my name is Phil Pote. I'm a scout for the Oakland A's. And I didn't know what scouts do, right? So okay, thank you very much. So I went to Valley College, and I had a red, white, and blue glove that was held together by shoelaces. I'm number 5 of 10 of us kids. So in the Samoan home, right, like a lot of the Mexican homes, right? Yeah. So there's 10 of us kids, mom and dad, aunt and uncle, a couple of cousins, right, in the 2-bedroom, actually I think it was a 3-bedroom. Maybe that was a laundry room that I slept in. But anyways, so big family, right? So don't be late to the dinner table. And so I just put together my glove and went to LA Valley College and played under Al Verdun for a couple of years, and then walked on to BYU and played there and became an All-American, signed free agent with the Dodgers, and 2 seasons there and 4 years with Milwaukee, and was a player coach at one time and a player manager, and yeah, good fun. And then off I went.
Yeah, it's crazy how fast pitch softball can teach them things.
Hey, competitive, right? Competitive sport. Competitive. It sounds like the competitiveness and obviously, not the competitiveness and the discipline. I caught a little bit of what you said, like dinner table. You got to be there at a certain time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like all that little discipline that you input into your coaching career, or even playing. Going from your glove, shoelaces, walking onto BYU, being a player slash manager, like all that stuff. And I mean, it went a long way. Definitely went a long way.
And I credit that to my father and to my mother. Of course, the culture is different, the Samoan culture, and just the discipline as you alluded to. We were running the streets of Pacoima at 5 o'clock in the morning before Dad went to work at General Motors, right, when they had the plant here in Van Nuys.
Yeah.
And so me and my 2 older brothers, and we boxed. And so there was a lot of discipline. My favorite sport was football.
Okay.
Still is. My second favorite is basketball.
What?
Right? Yeah. And I'm coaching baseball, and I love it. I mean, I just love this game. But those are my favorite sports growing up, and I couldn't play football because I was boxing and boxing competitively in junior Golden Gloves. And then basketball, that time I'm playing softball. So, but you're right. It's a lot of discipline, and the guys that get there to the highest level, of course, you've got to have tools, right? You got to have some tools to get to the highest level. Yeah. But then the work you put in, because when you get to the highest level, everybody's got tools. Right.
Yeah. Right.
Everybody's working hard. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah, and it's about separating yourself, and I'm sure you got that work ethic, those tools, especially because I come from a family of 10 as well, so. Nice. Like you go and then you realize like how much you push each other, you compete with each other, and it gets you to the next level. So you going out there boxing, run around and do all that. You brought those tools into the one opportunity what you had was BYU, go walk on, and then you flourish after that. And I think if you take little things from different years of your life and then you put them all together into one, you realize like, hey, when you become a man and then you take these opportunities, you run with it. You realize like it's not just the tools I did, it's who I became and the person that I've allowed myself to work towards got me to these opportunities. And I think that's what we're always trying to teach, and that's why coaching might be one of the things where it's like if I can teach them little things here and there and then build them to who they are and realize like your tools are everything, but your work ethic is the most important thing. And I think that's where especially like yourself and I've heard it's you've done that well with your players and they've come to be successful guys.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, because and you're absolutely correct. It's the individual, and as coaches, we coach them to what they could become, not what they are right now. And many times we might lose sight of that, where we want the instant results right now,
away.
Both for the players and for the coaches.
Right.
It's on both sides. Where the player wants it right now, with hey, work the process. It's going to take a little while, and this is what you need to sacrifice, and this is what you got to give up, and this is what you got to do, and so it's on both sides, and you're not going to be a D1 player or even a D2 or D3 or NAIA player in a month and a half. You're still a freshman in high school, right? But that's going to be the goal. You can't walk up to the office and say, okay, I want my diploma. No, you haven't done the work yet. Right? You're a freshman. You get the work in, and we'll get you the diploma when it's ready.
Right.
But
right.
So those are the things that as you mentioned, is coaching them up. Coach them up in every way, shape, and form, because when they come to me, they're with me for a short time. My job now is to take what all the other coaches taught and what they've learned from other places and other people and be able to add to it. Not to take away from it, but add to that and then send them off to wherever they need to go. And hopefully wherever they go, they'll be able to take those lessons and those messages and teachings and that with them as they go. Because when they go, a great story is that I had players that have gone to places and they would call me up and say, everybody's telling me not to hustle off the field, and I said, well, those guys are trying to keep you from advancing. You do what you do and let them follow you. So this is good stuff.
Damn, that story, if I ever hear that.
Yeah, that's actually good. I'm taking notes here. I'm taking notes. Man, did you ever have your coaching career players that you thought related to you, like what you kind of went through? You've gone through a lot of tons. I'm sure you've gone through
tons, and that's
an amazing question. It's not even on here.
Yeah,
it's not even on here. But I'm locked in. You're not locked in over here.
And what's interesting is that I was coaching a series, the Goodwill series in Australia. I've done 3 tours to Australia. So we went to Sydney, Perth, Adelaide, Brisbane. So I'm coaching there one year. It's from the 15 to the 16 year. So it was in December during the Christmas vacation. I got players from all over the country. First time I see them is at the airport LAX when they all fly in, and then we just got a connecting flight to Sydney, right, and off we go. And so I don't know what they can do or who they are, and what their talent level is. But I got a call when I was in Australia from Palos Verdes High School, and Palos Verdes High School, of course, is a very affluent high school. And But I told him I couldn't do it, and I wasn't able to do it. It was an emergency hire, and so I said thanks, but no thanks. I had the AD and the principal on, and then I got a call from a few of my players, from a few of the players at the school, because I'm their instructor. I do private lessons with them and work with them, and they're saying that they're not sure who they're going to get. They just might get a teacher from on campus, and it's their senior year, and so I'd call back and I said, okay, I'll take it. But you got 6 months. What am I going to do for 6 months? And so after the season, I would do 18 seniors. Could you imagine?
Wow.
Try to navigate with 18 seniors. They were amazing. The school was amazing. The parents were amazing. The players were amazing. The coaching staff was awesome. Had a lot of fun with that. But after the 6 month, I asked the AD if he had gotten a coach, and he says, no, we were hoping that you would change your mind. And I would have loved to. I walk outside my coach's office there, and there's the ocean, Palos Verdes, right? You're in the peninsula. It's absolutely gorgeous. You look over the clear day, you see Catalina Island, right? I mean, you can't beat it. The office is beautiful. There, you got like 100 dozen baseballs there. It's pretty neat. But after that, I said thanks, but no thanks, because I was needed in other areas, right? And I felt not that I do anything special or different, but there wasn't a lot of opportunities for coaches in other areas like Compton, like Carson. I'm now in Lawndale. I just absolutely love it. So when you said about the people that have my background, Cal State Dominguez Hills.
All right.
Those are the boys in the barrio, and let's go get it, man. Strap it on, let's go to work, right? Because they're the ones that, because of the culture they grew up in, you can hammer them. You can absolutely hammer them, and they're going to get up and they're going to do it. You hammer them, they're going to get up, they're going to do it. You hammer, they're going to get up and do it. And so those are the guys that you want, right? I want an army of those guys. Maybe they don't have quite the talent, but they got the work ethic, and they got the desire, and they got the respect, right? So when you get that from them, then you can teach them and train them, and they become better. And so those are the areas that I love to go and coach at. There's 100 people in line to coach at the big high schools, the affluent high schools, but there's very few at those other areas, right? So you'll get a dad or there's a community person, and bless their hearts, right? They do what they can do. I love that kind of stuff. So and after a while, of course, we started getting other people come into our program at Cal State Dominguez Hills, and but it was those are the pioneers. Those are the guys that got the program up and running. I mean, even from coaching under Coach Wing, he was absolutely amazing. And those were the type of players that you got at Dominguez. It wasn't a destination. It was if this doesn't work out, this is where we end up at. Well, I'm here because 3 or 4 other schools didn't want me. Well, Kevin Pillar's a great story. Sid Lopez, I love that guy. He took Kevin everywhere, right? He took Kevin everywhere because he knows talent. I mean, Sid knows talent. Sid can look at guys and. People mistake sometimes his that he went to college out in Oregon, right? And he didn't go to one of the big schools, or he didn't play pro ball. But man, that guy's knowledge, I love having him around. I learned just from standing next to him, right? He's good. But so those are the people that we want, and those are
you
people
guys
that
are.
we like. There's the man. Oh, Sid. I miss you, brother. But it's absolutely amazing.
Awesome. Let's talk about Cal State Dominguez.
Yeah, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk.
I tell you what, that was my favorite ever. I spent 13 years of my baseball career over there, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. That was just so special. My first opportunity was coaching under George Wing and learning from him. Every coach that I coached under, regardless of where it was at, you just learn. You learn so much. You have so much knowledge.
You always take something from from.
Absolutely, absolutely. And some things work for me and some things don't. Right, it's just like a hitter. I can see different guys hitting, and some might work for me and some don't work for me.
Right.
And I'll teach things that I might not be as comfortable with, so I'll go learn it. Right. Let me go learn what this guy's talking about. So, but I'm always trying to learn. Being a student, but Cal State Dominguez Hills is great. Played under or coached under Coach Wing. I owned a trucking company at the time. My salary was anywhere between $400,000 and $600,000 a year. Walked away from it.
Wow.
Man.
Go figure, right?
Back then?
Back then.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
So it's about, I don't know, about 1.3 and 1.4 million a year now, right? If that same money.
Wow.
But I've never been accused of being real smart, right? But at that time, my passion changed.
I caught that.
At that time, my passion changed. Right? My passion was in trucking. I started with one little truck, it was my van, my personal van, and ran it to a $7 million business, a year business, and because my passion was there, and so then my passion changed because I got away from baseball, but I started coaching my kids, and all of a sudden the fire came back. It went from as a little tiny flame, and then it was on fire. Walked away from that big salary to coach for free, to be a volunteer coach, and I was there a couple of years as a volunteer. And then I got a huge raise. I made $400 a month, and but loved it. I loved every part of it. And then
So you don't regret it?
oh no, I would do it again. Wow. For what happened and what took place and what I learned and the growth and experiences, I wouldn't change it for the world. Wow. Yeah. So if I was in that same position right now, passion changed, right? So I'm working on a couple of businesses right now. Well, I'm bringing one back that's it's going to be lucrative because my passion is back again.
That
right?
trucking company coming back, baby.
That's right. That's right. So we're going to be
back to those 6 digits.
So I had an opportunity. I interviewed for the coaching job. Ron Prettyman was our AD at the time, and his son played for. Forgive me, I think Fullerton or somewhere, and played some pro ball, I believe, or maybe it was LMU. But anyways, I had a chance to interview for the head coaching job, and of course, at the D2 level, a lot of people might not realize how those are sought after jobs, and so we had a lot of D1 assistant coaches. We had everybody, people were calling in from different universities to push their guy, to be the head coach at Dominguez. But I was fortunate to get the position and. Shoot, first year was like, oh man, it was tough. We had good guys. It was me, right? It was me. I had to learn to be a better coach. I had to learn how to understand how to coach because now being an assistant coach is I was for many years under Harry Jenkins at West Orange High School. But being an assistant coach is great, right? After practice, I go home. I go home. I'm done. I'm finished. I don't talk to parents. I don't talk to players. I'm done. See you later. Yeah. But as the head coach, there's so much more, especially at the college, with all the paperwork and all the rules and eligibilities and compliance and all those things that go on with that. It's a whole different ballgame, right? So that was new to me, but I had to learn how to better myself as a coach. So I had to get better. I had to get better how to communicate. I had to get better how to do things. I've learned over the years things have changed, right? Mm-hmm. Things have changed. Society's changed. Cultures have changed. Yeah. And so. And I've changed a lot as a coach. I don't know if I'm a better coach, but I've changed, right? And I've had to make changes. And and that was exciting. And year number 3, I brought Sid Lopez on. It was absolutely amazing. I met through his son, and then I asked him to come to the dugout and help me out during the summer as well too. And I love that man. Because I wouldn't let anybody call pitches, right? Oh. Catchers call the pitches. Catchers are going to call the pitches, and this is how it is. And we work on the fall, and what were your options, and did you know what kind of hitter this guy is? So I let him coach, and then when Coach Lopez came over, he wanted to call the pitches. I said, okay, let's go get it. Well, in our third year, we're in the regionals. Right? Nice. First time in 15 years, we make the regionals. And then the following year, we go back to back. The first time that's happened in 22 years. Wow! And so he knows his stuff, right? So that's the beauty, and it was neat. And having guys like him, I loved everything about the school. We just have too many guys to name. Of course, the face of the program is Kevin Pillar. Yeah, amazing. When I see him as a freshman, and then when Coach Lopez, there's the man right there. He had a major league glove in college as a freshman. But he had a major league glove then. He was absolutely amazing, and his work ethic.
You have a few players that played under. We named a couple earlier. Claudio, his son's with the Braves, and then you.
With Yetis.
And then you the Hadigi.
Yeah, absolutely.
Louis Perez.
Yep, absolutely.
David Fair. Man, you had a few guys that played under.
Yeah, these are all the Valley guys.
All the Valley guys that I know.
Those guys.
You got West. You got the Avila, right? Avila.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Carlos Avila was with ZT.
ZT.
Absolutely. Who's partnered up right now with the Hit Factory, so we're excited about that.
Yeah.
But we've had guys that Ivory Thomas. We've got just a ton of guys that. We got a kid out of Valencia, Corrales. I'm sorry. Corrales. What's Corrales first? Gosh darn it. Well, he drafted the same year as Kevin.
Okay.
We had what was really exciting was they said with a such and such pick in the 32nd round, the New York Mets take Carlos Leyva, right, their second baseman. The very next pick, Toronto Blue Jays take Kevin Pillar, and a couple picks later, just a couple picks later, the St. Louis Cardinals, take Keener. I forget Keener's first name, our catcher. And then later on, Seattle took our catcher Corrales, who went to the big leagues, to the Nippon, Japan, and Japan made their big leagues up there. And but he's a Valencia guy, and so from San Fernando Valley, Santa Clarita Valley, this place is baseball rich.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome, man, because it's one of those where it's D2, the way you hear it or the way it's not too exciting in the sense, right? For athletes and guys coming out of high school, it's D1, D1, D1. How was it to go and be like, and to be that popular D2 school that people wanted to come play for you and be like, you know what? It's not a bounce back. It's a destination that we want to go and play.
Yeah, great question. That was our goal all along, was to make it a program, was to make that the program that people wanted to come to. And winning championships, that comes along with however things work, right? We didn't get a chance to go to the World Series, and that's probably one of my biggest regrets. But we're D2 is different because we're in a region. And so we have UC San Diego at the time, who was Division II. We had all these schools that were really, really good, and Chico State and Sonoma State and Pomona. I mean, we beat up on each other, and that's why our records aren't as good now, right? As the other schools, where you got a school that's beating up on everybody, but we just beat up on each other here. And so after a while, it felt good, the fact that people were coming, but that's what that was our goal, and that was our goal all along. And the way that Coach Sid Lopez and all the other assistant coaches, the way we approach it is that's our goal. It's the playoffs or bust, and let's go get it. So it was. That's
exciting. The mentality that you guys had, right? That's the mentality you guys had.
Correct. And then everything we do, the way we walk on the field, the way we clean the field, the way we put our equipment away. We teach them how to rake. We teach them how to, if there's rain, how to take care of the field. Our little baseballs. There's one of the players made a comment. We went to a place and they're doing field work, and people are saying, "Man, look at the size of those players." And our guys are saying, "Man, look at those nice rakes. Look at those big shovels right there." They're looking at the equipment that we use, right? So we tell the guys, "Hey, you don't have a lot of money here. Take care of our stuff." Right? So it's awesome.
I think that's important.
Yeah,
just taking care of your stuff. It's like after the game, excuse me, our high school kids, we're trying to teach them, like, no, put your stuff away later. The field comes first.
Bingo.
Bingo. The field comes first, and then you go ahead and put your stuff away. And, we every now and then we do catch a kid putting his stuff away. Nowadays, we look at them.
Teach.
Nowadays, we look at them like, hey, what are you doing? Yeah. Maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, it would be a little different. But right now, it's like, hey, come on, you get the field first. But going back to Sid Lopez a little bit, I got to coach against him for quite some years. I think maybe 3 or 4, or maybe a little more than that. And he's the only coach that I know to this day that, maybe there's a couple, but he's one of them. Threw for a strike, first pitch, slider.
That's it. Absolutely. And I loved it.
And then he looks over, he looks over, and I look at him, and I'm like, wow. Like, are you serious right now? He threw a first pitch slider for a first strike. Of course, from down here. I'm looking at him like, really, Sid? And
he's not afraid to come back with it again and again and again and again. You might not see a fastball and the guy throws 89, right?
Yes.
And you might not see that fastball yet.
And again, he's not afraid to pick. He's not afraid to run an inside move. And, he did a great job with Sam and, throughout those years. But, yeah, Sid is amazing at calling a game.
Talking about picks. So we're playing against the number 1 ranked in the nation, and I don't know where we are 5, 6, 7, 8 in the nation at that time, and they've got just an athlete at first base, and we know eventually he's going to go. So Sid picks, and then he picks again, and now the other team is popping off.
Yeah,
picks again. The stands are popping off. Picks again. The umpires are popping off. I think it was a 7th pick in a row. Picked them off, and that's it, right? So it was awesome, absolutely awesome. And we had so many pitchers got drafted out of our place because of his work. He's incredible.
What were you thinking when you picked? What was going through your head? What are you doing, Sid?
Oh, I'm right. Really? No. As a matter of fact, that's that's what we prepare for. That's what we
Right.
plan for. That's how our players are taught. There's gonna be we may be picking forever, right? If that was the big leagues, the guy's going after the second pick, right? He's gone, right? It's a whole different rules. But
This is a little off topic. Do you feel like the hitter's timing is obviously, like he gets frustrated out there when you pick?
a lot. Oh, absolutely. And we may do that to frustrate the guy. We might not. That guy might not even be a runner, but we may do that to frustrate the guy as well too. So there's a lot of that part of the game that went on in the future, in the past, where we step the guy off, step off the rubber, okay? Step off the rubber, get back in there. Guy gets in a box, you step off the rubber. Guys get out of the and just work. You can play the head game, but not with the clock. You can't do that.
Yeah,
No,
well,
you
that's,
can't do
that-
that.
yeah. I was about to say that's old school baseball. You didn't seem like you did do those things to try to like mess with guys and go and then and you it was part of the game. Other guys getting mad. The whole thing was getting mad. But then when it works, it's like dang man, like he said right, he was throwing guys out because the first pitch sliders on that. But you see it working, and then now you realize that he go and not be afraid to go first pitch slider. And like do those things where it's like you realize when all these guys like yourself have that old school baseball mentality and it works. Especially now, a lot of guys are more antsy. A lot more guys are doing this. Like they're not used to that stepping off, doing all that. Now with the new rules, it's like man, those things kind of go out the window. But you always try to develop new ways to throw off guys, and I think that's where nowadays coaching can be a little bit more difficult in that end, where it's like, hey,
For sure.
how can you work with the clock, and then how can you work with the picks, and then how can you work with that, and it becomes more difficult. But then when you find your ways, you find that niche. But I mean, to bring back memories, we used to always do that. That was fun.
Absolutely. It was a good time. And talking about the clock as well too, getting used to the clock, because if you don't know how to work the clock, it can work against you. Where guys are rushing up and they're getting to the box, right? And now the pitcher can just stand there and stand there and stand there. You got to use one of your timeouts, right, to get out of there. So just knowing when to get in the box and when is it time to engage with the pitcher, and the same thing with the pitcher. You get ready to go. There was a time we played at the Wichita in the NBC World Series, and the guy was looking down. He wasn't even looking, but we got banged. We got called on a ball because the guy wasn't ready to hit and the clock ran out. So I told my guys, at 5 seconds before the clock goes out, I don't care what the guy's doing. If he's digging in, you're throwing the ball. We're gonna, so knowing how to use the clock is important.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Do you guys work on that, like in the fall, like to work, or like would that be worked on in the fall to like, hey, well, let's manage ways to use the clock, or do you just say go and?
Well, back then we only had the 90-second get off the field and 20-second in between pitches, right? But it was worked by stopwatch, so you didn't know where you were at, right? The umpire on the bases had the stopwatch, and so he would watch when the last out, and boom, he'd hit the clock, and as soon as the ball got back to the pitcher, boom, he hit the. So we didn't know what it was. So back then we're just working on we got our own stopwatch, right? And we're telling the guys, so we practice that all the time. The 90-second, the 20 seconds, hustle out there, get your throws in, because if you don't hustle out there, you get one throw. And then if you go over, they start banging the balls. They're calling balls on you.
Well, that's a good way to hustle on and off the field.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
A
Yeah.
9-5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9-5, yeah.
So I'm a clubhouse kind of guy. Do you ever feel like you lost a clubhouse at any time in your coaching career?
I've been pretty lucky. That's one thing that I think that's if you don't have control of your clubhouse, it's not going to work. I don't care what kind of players you have,
Right.
because that translates into the field.
Yeah.
Right. So the clubhouse is where the guys are going to be, they can do what they do, but they still have to have the respect for the program, respect for each other. And if you start, things start to get unravel. That's where
it goes sour.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember 2017 at Birmingham. We lost to Cleveland. Yes, we did, Sammy. We lost to Cleveland. I would always dislike losing to anyone, but especially Cleveland, right? And a couple of our players are going at it after the powwow. I'm like, oh man, kind of going back and forth. We get back to the clubhouse, and we kind of let them, talk it out with the coach in there, and I think it brought us together. We ended up winning that, that year, but going back to that, how important the clubhouse is, and I think, like you said, it doesn't matter what kind of players we have. We did have the best team in the city because we won it, but
sure.
I'm saying we knew we were good, You know, from the get go, from the fall, we're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. But the importance of that clubhouse, it's huge. I think it's everything. Because
Yeah.
the minute you lose it, it's over.
Yeah. And you also have to give them room to do
Yes.
certain things. Right? You have to. There's things, and I tell the players, there's things that need to get to me, and there's things that don't need to get to me. If you take care of it, take care of it. Okay? And make sure that's handled there. Same thing with my assistant coaches. But if my assistant coaches take care of something, I need to know you took care of it, because I may go and address that same issue not knowing it's been taken care of already. So same thing with at West Torrance High School. I was working with the infielders, and we're working on off to the side, and there's all of a sudden I hear Coach Sua, they turn around, there's a fight going on. Two guys going at it. So I had front row seat, right? Look, you guys done? Okay, good. Let's get up. Bunt defense. Let's go. Right? So there's times where you gotta, that's going to be part of the clubhouse, right?
Yeah.
And that's part of how they mesh, right? That's just what we do. And if it gets beyond that, if it goes beyond that right there, what just happened right there, if it goes into the dugout, if it goes out into the streets, then there's an issue.
Yeah.
Is there like what the clubhouse is the culture you set? Was there like a specific rules that you would go by every year that the clubhouse was like, hey, it's got to be this way, it's got to be this way. All this other stuff that goes in between, that's up to you guys. But this is the way established, and it's worked for you throughout the whole years. Because I'm sure like you create that culture, you create that program, you want to keep it to what's been working, and you don't want guys to come in and kind of be like, hey, this, like where they look off those three rules that have worked for 10 years and then to go there. So like, did you have any specific things that you didn't want things to get messed up on? And then there's rest, of course, every player is different, so they do their own thing.
Well, no, it's like the family, right? That your oldest siblings are the ones that make sure if you're gone as a parent, right? And you come back and there's a mess. Yeah, who gets it? The oldest sibling, right? Because they're in charge, right? It's their job to oversee that. So when you build a program, just like your program, I mean, to do what you guys have done is absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
But it doesn't. It happens every single season, every single practice, right? You're going back and you're refining things. But when you introduce clubhouse stuff and you introduce behavior, that happens years down the road. Right, years before that, and then you just keep reviewing and refine. So when these freshmen become seniors, they're your coaches, right? They run the show in the clubhouse and on the field, and it's up to them. So if you have and there's times where you might have a batch of players that is just not working, right? And then you have to you have to step in and say, okay, good, this is how this is done, and don't ever do it like that again, right? So. But yeah, I can imagine what it's like around your program. It's as successful as you guys have been and are. There's certain things that you walk a certain way. You hang up your stuff a certain place. You put your bags in a certain place. You stretch a certain way. You run a certain way. You do these, and then you give individual times to do their own stuff that they need. But
I mean, you talked about it earlier, like even like raking the field, dragging the field, putting the tarps down, or picking up baseballs, putting the hack attack away. All that little stuff that we preach here, it's to our younger guys and our high school guys, it's it really defines the person that you are. Sometimes like, hey, that ball bag doesn't have legs. If it had legs, it would walk to us. Like that kind of stuff. We do throw that stuff out there, but time has changed. Times have changed, and we got to be careful how we say it.
Correct. Correct.
And at the same time, we got to teach these kids like, hey, whatever high school you enter, doesn't have to be Birmingham, doesn't have to be whatever respective high schools that are out there. Make sure you walk in because you're going to represent us here. And make sure you walk in and when that little details that we just talked about, that we just mentioned, that little stuff matters too. And people, but I throw 90 something, I hit bombs, that's cool. But if they see you doing the little stuff, you're gonna notice it.
Absolutely. And the programs that people come from that are pretty tight.
Right.
Just like with the children, right, in your homes, when you go out, you hope that they influence others versus get influenced in a negative way, in a bad way, right? Be strong enough to where you've been taught in a home where now you'll be the influencer versus, falling into different traps.
Right.
And so, so as a college recruiter, when I go out and recruit players, I know what program they're coming from. And so the expectation for that individual, because it came from Coach Osborne, Coach somebody else, that I expect that level of discipline from that person. So, and then of course we just add to it, right?
Yeah,
Then we
yeah,
add
yeah.
our own stuff to
Yeah.
it. Absolutely.
Let's get into that recruiting stuff. How was it back then? What did you look for in a player? I mean, it'd be nice for everybody to know nowadays because everybody wants to go Division One. Everybody's dreams to go Division One. No one Division Two, three, NAIA. The kind of JUCO baseball and what the transfer portal now. I mean, it's really really hard for kids to even play baseball at the next level nowadays. I mean, what did you look for in a student athlete back then?
Well, no, the biggest thing was athleticism, and I think even when I was associate scout with Kansas City Royals, athleticism, and usually your most athletic person that's got really good tools will be at shortstop, behind the dish, center field. Guys that have exceptional tools. And then there's those guys that might not, you may have 4 shortstop on the team, right? I'll take 9 shortstops, or 9 center fielders and convert a couple of them to a catcher, right, and move them around. But you're always looking for athleticism. Always looking for baseball IQ. And that's something that you want to teach baseball IQ. 4 years in college is only 4 years in college. And if you get JC guys, you got 2 years. If you don't have the baseball IQ, it's amazing. I was sharing this with my high school team, with Lawndale High School, going back to the Yankees, to the World Series, Yankee Dodgers, right? That 5th inning in New York, which started with a drop fly ball, and the great hustle by Kiki to beat the throw at second base. He almost blew it, right? He almost blew it. It's a little kind of flare line drive to center field, right? You go halfway. You watch him catch the ball,
Right.
and then you make the adjustment from there, right? He had his back going the other way. I'm a big Kiki fan, man. I love that guy, right? Before the ball was caught, he's going back to first base because he's done that hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, and no one's dropped the ball. Well, guess what? World Series, ball's dropped.
Yep.
He's almost at first base with his back to the play, right? So he's got to turn around. He's got to bust as hard as he can and then barely get there.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. And so without that,
We'll go
okay,
back and
without that,
watch
there's
the fifth
no
inning.
there's nobody on second base, right? There's no, and then the play that the Volpe had, the third base, a second baseman makes that play every single day because they're turning double plays to the right, right? So he goes in the hole, turn the play to the right, and of course Garrett Cole not getting the first
Getting
base.
over.
Yeah, so we're looking for baseball IQ. Okay, so when we recruit, does the guy know where he's going with the ball, without the ball? Where is he backing up? Is he lazy? Right. So I went to go watch a player out of Barstow. Okay, and that's a haul out there, right?
Yeah,
Out of
it
Barstow.
is.
And so, but I tell this player that I'm going to see him instead play at El Camino College on that Saturday, right? So they're playing Thursday in Barstow. I drive to Barstow. I'm on Barstow. I'm watching this guy. And so body language isn't real good. And now I'm parked in the car right up on top, so he doesn't even know I'm there, right? And I'm watching him. And he grounds out to the third baseman, runs the first base, gets thrown out, slams his helmet, and goes to the back of the dugout. And I had my wife with me. Started the car,
You said
and left.
He said, "Hon, what's for lunch?"
Yeah, right. We took off. Barstow's a long drive, right? So now El Camino, right? I live in Torrance. It's in Torrance. I'm right here. And I go there, and I'm standing on the top parking lot where you can see me from the third base side, right? And so I'm watching this guy, and he sees me. He waves at me. I wave at him. Has a great day. Hits one out. But I already crossed him off my list.
Oh,
He had a great game. Crossed him off my list. I can't afford a guy like that.
right.
Because he cannot. If he comes in, if he can't play that well and have a bad attitude with me not being there, I want no part of him. And so that's the big thing for me. You got to have a guy that's got a good attitude. He's got desire. He's got passion. He wants to do this thing, and this is all he wants, right? So this guy was all about him, not interested.
Yeah. I think that right there is
Man,
is a
I'm getting goosebumps.
yeah it's a lesson to these kids, these athletes, and these
6:30 game.
players is
Let's
to
go.
understand, like, you got to carry yourself that way every single time. Not when people you got to carry yourself like that the most, even more when people are not looking at you. And I think that's what I tell people. When you think no one's looking at you is when they're actually looking
I'm
at
gonna
you.
play this episode for the whole program.
So yeah, I think that's very important, man, because we always get those where you turn your back and then it's like, oh, I can relax now, but not knowing, like, when you turn his back is when I'm gonna work harder, because then when he sees me, I'm gonna shine when it's most. And I think players, you need to go back and understand, like, it's carry yourself the way you want to be carried every single time and the way you want to be looked at. It's the same thing that we always say is like treat people the way you want to be treated. Well, carry yourself the way you want other people to look at you
Yeah,
that
at
way.
the end of the day, it's respecting the game.
Yeah.
Respect the game. Right. We don't owe, none of us here owe anything to the game.
Oh, absolutely.
And
We
the
don't owe
game don't
anything to
owe
it.
and the game don't owe anything
Like,
to
we
us.
don't respect the game, and we've been preaching a lot. It's like, hey, treat the game the right way, and it's going to reward you. Maybe not now, maybe months, years from now, but at some point you're going to feel rewarded if you treat it the way you're supposed to.
Absolutely.
If you respect it the way you're supposed to, then that one you're going to get rewarded. But if you don't, those baseball gods that we all believe in,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll come back and they'll hammer you in a hurry. You know,
Right.
now think about anything that we do, right?
Right.
From our families to our jobs to our community to our nation to the game, right? Take as much as you can from it.
Yeah.
Take as much as you can from it. Believe more than you take. Just leave. I mean, not monetary things, right? But just leave whatever you can leave with that program for the country, for your home, for your family, for your job. Leave what you can. But take as much as you can get out of it, right? So if it means that no, I've got a job and I'm working towards a promotion, right? And I'm going to work and I'm going to promote and I'm going to promote and promote. But through my promotions, I'm going to develop so many people, right? That's going to help the company. And so same thing with the team. I'm going to help promote the club by doing what I do, by running the way I run, by hustling the way I hustle, because it's going to be contagious, right? Someone is going to get that, and they're going to get contagious. And I have this thing with my wife when I'm doing businesses, and she'll say, "Are you having a seizure?" I said, "Yeah, I'm having a really, really strong seizure." Because I call it my entrepreneurial seizure. When I have an entrepreneurial seizure, we're off and running, right? And same thing with coaching. I'll stay up at night and I'll think about things. And whoa, what about this and what about that, right? As assistant coach, I go to sleep. As a head coach, I'm working, right?
all right. I don't feel as bad anymore then. I go to sleep writing stuff down on my phone for the next day. I'm like, what am I doing? This is bad.
Ray just racing.
Wow. Okay. I'm glad. You know what? I'm glad you are a legend.
Legends
man,
think alike, you know what I mean?
man, I'm like writing stuff down. My wife is like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I can't forget about this because I'm gonna forget about it right away if I don't write it down." So,
Absolutely.
that's great.
But yeah, I do want to touch on these beach workouts, man.
Yeah,
What's going on there? How do they work? How did you come by? Why did you kind of be like, you know what, let's go do beach workouts, and how did that benefit your guys?
Did that take place in the fall?
Yeah, during fall.
Right.
During fall. Yeah, and it was.
Man, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah. And what's really neat is because I see other trainers working their people out, right? So they go in, they run the stand. It's amazing. Just working on your strength, right? Working on your cardio, working on your core, just walking in the stand. So we would get on the stand. We do our stretching, but we stretch on the stand. So when we do our low knee skips or high knee skips or karaoke's, we're doing all that. It's on the stand. It's of course it's going to be much tougher. Mm-hmm. And some guys that live around the beach, I don't care if you went barefooted, socks or shoes, right? Whatever you're comfortable with. And then we do all the same exercises we do on the field. The same we do on the field. Then we'll jog. Everyone's got a tennis ball too. Everyone's got a tennis ball in their hand. So then we'll jog, and then we'll do exercises. Then we'll jog. We'll do exercise. So we may go from lifeguard post to lifeguard post, or okay, see that trash can? We're jogging in there. We'd gather them, and then we do catches. Right? We would throw fly balls at them. They got the tennis ball. They had the tennis ball. Throw your tennis ball. Come around. Throw your tennis ball, and then we'd go do other drills. And we had the stairs. I don't know how many steps are like. It seemed like 1,000 steps. We had one guy, his nickname was Chicken Karosky, I think his name. He hated those stairs. And those stairs to him was like 1,000 steps. I think it's like maybe 150. But he dreaded that stuff, but he was our ace. He was amazing. And so we even do football plays on there as well, too, where one line does the routes, the other line does the coverage, right? Where let's see your reaction. Let's see your turns. Let's see your pivot. Out, turn the wrong way. You got turned around by this guy, just like a fly ball, right? Yeah. They're going to turn you around, right? You have to keep your eye on that guy. So we do things like that. And then we do different crawls. We'll do push-ups in the stands. We got to hold it there. We'll do burpees. That thing, it's a killer. It's an absolute killer. We do relay races, right? They love to compete, right? Everybody loves to compete. And when we're done with that, I mean, the whole body is just, you're working everything. It's
Did you
just
guys hit the
amazing.
water after?
Some do. Some do, yeah. Some do. Others just crawl back to their car. Right? Some do hit the water, and it's pretty early in the morning, so it might be a little chilly. Yeah, but it's an absolute pleasure. And there's times where we'll see just a ton of people just watching our workout. But we really that was one of the favorite things of the players, is to do that. As tough as it was fun.
Was this part of making your program?
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So whoever didn't cut it.
No, not so much. Not so much make it. I think even the guys that got cut were some of the really good guys in that.
Okay.
That weren't as good on the weren't able to translate on the field, but we're really really good at that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
How often did you guys do it a week? Was it once a week or was it like every?
Well, there's some years that we did it maybe once a week. There's a couple of years that maybe we did it twice a month. But there's some others, and of course we have the 6 mile run. We do the 6 mile run when we get back, right after the winter break. No, so you have to run not 6 mile. I'm sorry, the 6 minute mile. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we do that as
I do remember that one.
yeah, it's another one of those. So the guys dreaded that. So one of our pitchers asked, coach goes, he goes, would you mind if we did bench presses instead of running the 6 minute mile? I said, how many bench presses? He goes, well, as many as we can do. I said, so what does that do for us? You guys have 6 weeks that you're off. That doesn't do anything for me. And he goes, yeah, it's tough to run a 6 minute mile, because he was a bigger guy. I said, it's not about running the 6 minute mile. You don't understand what we're doing here. It's not about running the 6 minute mile. It's about who worked out those 6 weeks, right? I can tell who worked out, who didn't work out those 6 weeks, because you got running program that we send with you, and hitting program, fielding program, and catch play and bullpens, and we've got I can tell who ran and who didn't run, and so that's what the purpose of that for. So if a guy runs a 7 minute mile, because you can't practice till he runs a 6 minute mile, but if somebody runs a 7 minute mile, and I know that he trained, and you can tell he trained, he's good. He's good to go. Because he's normally a 7:30, 8 minute mile, right? And he did it in 7 minutes. This guy worked harder than anybody here that ran it in 5:30, right? You're good to go. So that's always the purpose of that. Is the idea is not if you can run in 6 minutes, is what did you do during those 6 weeks?
Wow.
And so it's been fun, yeah. So but the beach workout's one of those as well too.
Man.
Yeah.
There's always a method to the madness.
That's right.
That's-
Coach Sam coming through with Coach Sua. Coach Sam.
Look at all.
Man.
Sam's the man.
Man, that's awesome. Let's hit real quick before we end on what athletes are going through right now. Baseball players, the whole transfer portal and Division 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's
guys bouncing back.
It's tough. For those of you out there that are playing baseball right now and have aspirations of playing Division I baseball, keep those, man. Practice hard, work on everything you can. That does not guarantee you can get to Division I, or Division II, or Division III, or NAIA. 4-year schools they're inundated right now with players because of the pandemic, and there's guys playing 5 or 6 years. Yeah. There's tons of guys that are there. They're there a long time. If they have a medical red shirt, they're having. They got 5-year-old kids by the time they get out of college, right? They're much older now, and it's tough. So the good players, there's good ones that go to Division I, sit on the bench, get in the transfer portal, and go someplace else. Even go down to junior college, so they get the reps in. So they get back to a D1 program or a D2 program somewhere. So the guys are coming out of high school thinking that, if I don't make it in the 4-year school, I go to JC. Not the case. Okay, that's not happening so easily as it used to in the past. So it's gotten crazy. It's really, really tough now to get to work on your GPA's got to be good. I mean, you really got to work on your courses. Make sure you get your degree taken care of, so we're not wasting all that time. But you've got to go to places. When I help players recruit, do you want to play in the snow? Will you play in Minnesota? No. Okay, good. So you just took out about 50 schools, 60 schools, right? Yeah. So that's got. Okay, do you want to play in the hot summer or in Arizona places? No. Okay, so that part of Texas is out. Florida's out. Arizona's out. Okay, so now you're limiting yourself. Don't matter where you go. Go play, but go and play. Don't go and sit on the bench and say, okay, unless you want to. I played at Florida State. Good, I got the jersey. I'm a Seminole, and good for you. Okay.
That's some great advice. Thank you. That was great.
Yeah, no, that needs to be heard, man. Because a lot of these kids just see their tone of it, which is great. Like there's some guys, it works for when they don't have a plan B. and they go plan A and it goes all out and great for you. But then there's guys where it's like, hey man, there is a plan B, and it's not bad to go play in, in the Midwest or whatever it is. There's a lot of good schools out there too, that would get you to the next level, like a Lewis and Clark and those schools, and that go on make guys go and get drafted. So it's like anywhere you go, take care of those opportunities, because even if it's an NAIA, not many of those guys are going there, and other guys want to be in your position. So take fully advantage of that, and great advice too, because man, it is crazy out here right now.
Absolutely. If I can add to that also,
Go
travel
ahead.
ball.
Oh,
Travel ball the same way. For those of you in travel ball, because we have that hit factor, we have our 8, 9,
Go
10,
ahead.
12. National champion. If you're concerned about winning a national champion at 9 years old, our focus is wrong. That's going to come with it, right? If that happens, that happens. Okay, if you want to be the best team or the best player in the world at 10 years old, that doesn't mean that at 12 and 14 that you're going to be that same guy. So don't be so concerned about what team you're playing on. If you're playing on A team, B team, C team, you get better. It's all on you. You've got to get better. So don't think that I'm playing travel ball. I'm on this team and we got rings. Okay, that's okay, because the guy that didn't get the ring that's playing on the third team, he's going to be the All-American coming out of high school, because he's going to work at it, because he doesn't have any rings. Right, he's not concerned about the rings right now, so you'll get them. We play to win, because that's the best development. We play to win,
Yeah.
but at the same time, is that development is much more crucial. So for those of you at the hit factory as well too, we're looking forward to take you guys where you need to be, but keep in mind, and parents as well too, your son and daughter's not getting drafted next year or the year after. They're not going to be first round pick. Let them develop. They're not going to be a major leaguer at 9 years old. Trust me, I haven't seen one yet. Okay, maybe somewhere, but I haven't seen one yet. Okay, so just that.
amen to that.
Preach. Yeah, was it
That's
like
great. Yeah, it's an
music to
uphill
my
battle that we face day in and day out. But I mean, it's an uphill battle, and the times that we're in now, we got to deal with that, and it comes with it.
Correct.
I
Comes
feel
with it.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's not getting easier. Where I'm a parent of 4, so it's parents out there as well. Including myself. It doesn't get easier for us as far as the mentality that we sometimes have. Because my kid hit 5 buckets in the cage. Well, I mean, keep hitting, keep doing it, keep getting better. Work the right way first of all. If you want to hit 5, go ahead. My kid's gonna hit 2, but 2 great ones. And what I'm trying to say here, it's like don't get frustrated out there. Where it's like keep working. The result it's gonna come later down the road, or maybe that weekend. If it's Saturday, it might not come Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. I think and you said it too, baseball IQ.
Oh yeah,
You got to develop that. That's practice. That's being in situations. That's going over years and years of the same stuff at practice in the game, and eventually, when you get to high school, college, that baseball IQ is developed the right way, and it gets you to where you back up the right things. You do the things with the baseball, without the baseball, and that goes through wins and losses.
Correct.
That's the that's you can't live and learn unless you go through those things as a sport, especially in baseball when it's nothing but failure and then some success that makes you great. So that's where we always gotta, and it's a conversation that's always had, and it needs to be reminded, right? And that's a we're kind of, it's not getting tired of it, it's what comes with it, but you eventually get the same talk that you have with parents where you're like, man, here we go, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one.
we have
There
a
you go.
freshman at Birmingham, and comes from Brace Baseball Academy. He's an alumni, and he asked, and his dad asked if he can stay after Birmingham practice and take ground balls with the Braves, and he sure did. He took a couple rounds of them at short and second, and watching him running, jogging, for baseballs, and take ground balls, throws across the diamond, and when it was time to pick up baseballs, he's right there with them.
Bless his heart.
And I'm like, man, just reminded me of like treating the game the right way. Reminded me of when he was that age, and now we're doing PFPs and creative baseballs, and I turn over and he's flipping them to me flipping, and I'm like, oh man, you know my system really well. I said, here
Right?
we go,
Yep, right.
here we go.
Absolutely.
And then all of a sudden you catch me, in rhythm of hitting PFPs, and guys know what to do, and he's right there going boom, 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 telling the catchers ball, 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 bam, bam. So it was great. It was great, and I love to see that. I'm a big fan of staying after
Absolutely.
a little bit. You don't have to stay after for hours and hours and hours. Coaches do want to go home at a certain time and eat dinner and be with their families. But if you can put in the extra little time, and feel great about yourself leaving that field.
Absolutely. And how much did he teach to the younger kids? Jogging out the shag balls, right?
Yeah.
I'm not above you guys, right?
Right.
I'm the part of the program. I came from this program.
Yeah.
This is what was set by coach, right? Coach had set this, and this is the
Yeah.
parameters and the boundaries in which we work within. So I'm jogging after balls. I'm feeding them. I don't always have to be taking that. I'm doing my job. I'm earning my. I'm taking from the program.
Yeah.
But I'm giving back as much as I can.
Yeah, I've
So-
seen a lot
that's
of individuals from our 13-year-olds, try to they have for the most they have great hands, but try to mimic him a little bit.
Bingo.
I'm like, wow, going back to, the clubhouse and all that. So he was a great clubhouse guy. He was a great teammate, still is, and giving back to the kids, and who knows what he said to them when he was in line.
Bingo.
Yeah.
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 And that's stuff that we should. I mean,
No,
Correct.
that's
that's on that, like you
Yeah.
said earlier.
And we don't even know that.
yeah,
don't
that's
even know
that's
that.
a
We don't even know
clubhouse.
that.
That's a
Yeah.
clubhouse
Right.
type of atmosphere.
Great.
Yeah.
See, I took something out of this episode, Coach Sam.
Look at us. Look
You
at
know.
you.
That's awesome.
Well, we're
Yeah, I
coming
want to give a
an end.
shout out real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So I think my wife might be on here today, and she'll critique me when I get home. And also to my son Justin, his wife Melissa, and kids, and Natasha. And yeah, there he is, right there, the Tampa Ray dude. Oh, that's so much fun.
Nice.
When they played in the World Series with the Dodgers and the Rays, people ask me, who are you rooting for? And I said, well, I'm a lifetime Dodger, okay? But I'm an eternal dad. Right, right. So I'm going with the eternity right there. But and also my daughter Natasha, her family, and Travis and Felicia and their kids as well too. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful
Shout
to
out
be
to
here.
them, and
guys
thank
are
you
awesome.
guys for allowing me to be here. Great episode, great guest, and of course, legend. Like everyone texts me, and I'm like, all right, well, I got to see for myself. And my brother just texted me, wow, great baseball talk, and this was great. We're gonna hit you with some stuff, but before we do that, we didn't talk about your son. He's well connected with the Digging Deep podcast, which is great out there with Mustakas and Hosmer and all those guys, and we didn't even hit about your son.
Haas
so.
is awesome.
Yeah.
Haas is awesome. I love watching that. Justin is amazing.
Yeah.
All three kids, they all have certain things that they do that they're just good at. Justin is a master at what he does. He learns and he learns and he reads and he learns and he reads and he watches and it's just amazing the things and he does everything. There's not a thing. I mean, he did from hockey. He's done the NHL hockey, NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball. He's currently right now because he's also works with Rose Zan, one of the top women LPGA golfers. So she was the Tiger Woods of Stanford. She was on the women's team at Stanford and was ranked #1 amateur, and then won her very first pro tournament. Is also with Tony Finau and does just does a ton of things, and he's amazing. I mean, I listen to he's got another podcast going on as well too, but the one that he does with Hosmer, Digging Deep, that's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
That's absolutely incredible. Yeah,
that is
neat.
great.
Yeah, and then his impact. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see that, but he's got Increase Your Impact podcast every single day. I think he's on episode 2,800 and something.
Wow.
Right? Yeah.
Wow.
We're on episode
Yeah.
35, and I'm like, my voice is kind of cracking. Like, man, I got to get my voice back. Wow, man. Well, shout out to him, and
Yeah, man.
God bless all of them, and keep doing what they're doing. And
Keep putting that good baseball talk, that good
Yeah.
sports talk, that good energy out there, because definitely the world needs it, and the sports world always needs it. So thank you for that as well.
all right, let's bless him with our Baseball 4 podcast little snapback
Hey.
for you. We got
These
you
are
a little something.
Great ones, that. But hopefully, you wear that and,
Yeah.
and kind of flaunt it
Oh,
a little
nice.
bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, it's a snapback, so you can.
Oh, it's
adjust it.
adjustable.
Yeah,
Oh,
adjust it how you
good,
want
good,
it.
good.
Yeah. So thank
Okay.
you. Thank you again. All right, you ready for these rapid questions?
Okay, let's do it.
All right, we're gonna hit you with some rapid questions, and all right, here you go. I got some good ones I think in here.
All right. Let's see.
Pitch clock or no pitch clock?
Pitch clock.
Oof. Okay. Favorite MLB player of all time.
MLB player, favorite MLB, Pete Rose,
Oof. Rest in peace. Yes. DH or no DH?
DH.
Love it. Catcher on one knee or no knee?
Great question. I'm learning now how to do the one knee.
Okay.
I'm an Orthodox guy, but I'm learning now the one knee. The best guys are doing the best guys in the business. There's got to be an advantage to it.
Okay.
So I'm learning how to do that.
All right.
And how to teach it.
Sounds good. Dodger dog or nachos?
Oh, Dodger dog.
Okay. We still haven't gotten away with nachos, huh?
Not your guy.
Yeah, okay. Last but not least, favorite boxer of all time.
Favorite boxer of all time. Muhammad Ali.
Why did I have that feeling you were going to say that?
Favorite boxer right now?
Right now, I haven't followed the boxing game in a long
Makes
time.
sense.
Yeah, so my bad.
It's not the same.
Good.
You know?
All right. Well, again, thank you so much for coming out. Thanks to Sam for making it happen. This was a great episode. We got to bring you back with Sid Lopez next to us here.
Yeah, for
That
sure.
would be
I'd
great.
love that.
That would be awesome. I think that would be a classic one there.
For sure.
Yeah, Sid.
So much baseball knowledge there and so much just
Yeah.
history. That
We can't tell a lot of the stories, though.
No.
Yeah,
Once we turn off the
yeah.
cameras and turn off get the mics out of our faces, we can definitely, you guys can say whatever you want. I'm just kidding, but no, thank you again so much, Coach Sua. Man, this was amazing. You're gonna definitely make a Wall of Fame here, which we got to update that. I'm on
we
that.
do.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, Lira. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, thank you again. Episode 35. What a great one with a legend here, Murphy Sua. Don't be afraid to go out there and like the episode. Hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notifications. We go every week here. With better content, with better guests, and we appreciate you guys for watching and viewing the episodes and all that, and supporting the channel. So we want to hit the 200 subscribe button, and please get there, help us get there. We appreciate it all. And on to the next one. We out.